Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Guess who's back? Back again. I'm back. Oh, yes, I am back. Alright. I'm gonna get some Sonic fans to come debate me on these fucking topics. A lot of Sonic fans are gonna get mad. Like, they're gonna get mad. Because their little precious blue furry dies to fucking Mario. And it's not even close either. I literally can't wait to debate people on this. Like, this is going to be so peak. It's gonna be kind of ass because most Sonic niggas are like ass. Like, they're dog shit. They're donkey dog shit. do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. That's fine. Just trying to see if people will debate me on Mario versus Sonic. Probably looks like it won't happen today. Oh well. I wonder when people will debate me. I guess I could just discuss on why Sonic wouldn't really have a real chance against Mario. As proven, and two videos that proved that Mario was tier 0, or his cosmology, which he does scale to, by the way. And I do want to say that he would have complete arsenal of an omnipotent kind. So basically, since there's going to be, like, in a possible world, X would have all types of hacks and abilities, which is basically what how it's presupposed. So model realism and extended model realism can grant X any ability that you desire. So that's just tough. Hey, what's up, man? I don't think anybody will come debate today. Just waiting on some people to fucking debate me on Mario versus Sonic because it's axiomatic that Mario begs. It probably won't happen tonight, but it's fine if it doesn't happen tonight. Just thought I just got bored, wanted to debate people. uh, I could do that. I could probably do something else if nobody wants to debate me. Even though people say I'm a terrible debater, I'm trying to make them prove. I'm trying to prove them wrong. Yet they're not coming. That just shows how pussy they are. I feel like I can debunk Sonic lower than he can already be. I could debunk Sonic. Let's see here. I will react to that actually. All right, guys, we're gonna be reacting to this.
That's Archie Sonic, right? I'm usually the one wanting to fight, but I'm telling you, this ain't the fight. This ain't his little puss-ass game and anime counterpart, bro. This version of him, a whole different breed. Bro, his feats are crazier than anything I've ever seen.
Bro, his feet are crazier than anything I've ever seen.
That actually is pretty funny.
Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm sure you guys who watch my videos are very familiar with him, even if you don't watch my videos at all. A couple of months ago, I made a video called Questioning Sonic Power Scaling, where I cover how strong or how fast Sonic actually is. And there were a lot of positive reviews with this video, but also some negative ones from you-know-who. In that same video, I said that if you guys want to see a video of me covering Archie Sonic Power Scaling, be sure to comment the word Archie down below, and to no one's surprise, or to some people's surprise, there were a lot of comments saying Archie. I should have dropped this video way earlier in time, but we're finally here, and now that I'm done talking about the recap, let's actually go into who I believe is one of the biggest frauds in all of fiction. And I know, I say that word a lot, but I really mean it this time. But to understand Archie Sonic's power scaling, we first have to understand who Archie Sonic even is. Well, for the casual people who do not give a flying fuck about power scaling, you wouldn't really know who Archie Sonic is. And since you're watching this video, I'm gonna have to explain it. So Archie Sonic is, simply put, Sonic, but a version of him published by Archie Comics with his own standalone story. During the mid to late 2010s, Archie Sonic was kind of just its own Sonic with its own community, just like every other version of Sonic, nothing too crazy. But to finally explain why Archie Sonic has so many dick riders that keep saying he solos fiction, here's your explanation. During 2020, or just throughout the whole pandemic, a lot of people were getting exposed to anime and more fandom-based communities or genres. As a byproduct of a lot of this stuff becoming mainstream and more people getting into this kind of content, power scaling would also get really big. And as expected for a large and up-and-coming fandom, you would start to see a lot of trends and a lot of reasons why the fandom would be considered very extremely shaped. One of these trends being to try to find a character that beats Goku, because during the pandemic, Goku was quite literally the face of power scaling and still is. Every single fandom or community was trying to ride on the Goku train and try to annoy Dragon Ball fans by overhyping some character that allegedly beats Goku. Sonic fans, of course, also wanted to join in on the fun and try to shove another character up someone's ass and force them to believe that they can beat Goku. And that's why you never hear Archie Sonic outside of power scaling. But as you read with the title of this video, Archie Sonic is a fraud. He is not that strong. He is not soloing Marvel and DC Comics by himself. He is not beating Goku. He is not the strongest fictional character in gaming history. And he is absolutely not the strongest fictional character ever. The truth about Archie Sonic is that there is nothing to distinguish him vastly from Game Sonic aside from personality or some varying feats. There is nothing that crazy about Archie Sonic. And in my opinion, it is not even a crazy opinion to say that Game could be stronger than Archie or vice versa. So without further ado, let's actually address the arguments and expose the truth about Archie Sonic. So where do these Archie Sonic fanboys even get their arguments from? Well, this goes into my first point of this video. The first point of this video being allegedly Sonic can rewrite his entire reality or his entire cosmology at will. This claim comes from a crossover between Archie Sonic and Mega Man, where both have to unleash their ultimate forms and unleash a shitload of chaos energy in order to neutralize the Super Genesis wave, which is like some sort of dimensional wave that was going to destroy everything. The first argument I can use to attack this is the fact that this isn't even a feat that Sonic is using in his base form. It is a heavily amped Super Sonic. And it's not like Archie can use Super Sonic at will. He needs to get all 7 Chaos Emeralds to activate that form. If Sonic could use conditional power-ups in a versus battle, then that means any other character Sonic is being used against should also be able to use conditional power-ups as well. Which is actually going to be pretty bad for Sonic, because if there's a character that someone uses who primarily gets his scaling off of amps, that's going to severely fuck up Sonic. And on top of this is the fact that not only is it Super Sonic, but it's also heavy heavily amped Supersonic with extreme amount of chaos energy in order to pull off this feat. The second argument I also want to point out is the fact that Sonic needed Mega Man's help in order to achieve this feat, meaning it's a shared feat, so you cannot use this to apply to Sonic's individual stats. Sonic absolutely cannot use this power by himself, and when he tries to use to pull it off, and he needs Mega Man's help in order to output that level of energy. And by the way, this is very, very consistent within the comic. Sonic cannot utilize this kind of energy. So not only is the feat achieved by a conditional power-up that is extremely, extremely amped, but it's also done as a shared feat that Sonic cannot achieve on his own and struggles to maintain that energy. If this feat cannot be applied to Sonic's individual stats, then it cannot be used to honestly scale Sonic. So in conclusion, Sonic does not scale to this feat. Please stop using this bullshit. But let's say in some possible world, I do grant Sonic this feat, even though it logically is not coherent with the series. Where would Sonic even scale? Well, does he transcend the concepts of space and time? Fuck no. Is he a boundless, omnipotent character that no one can beat? Absolutely not. Let's actually go over and power scale quote unquote everything or Sonic's reality and try to understand how complex it is in order to give it an accurate scale. Now, for those people who think that I have some sort of anti-Sonic belief or agenda in regards to power scaling, that is not true. In fact, I'm going to start off with the things that I will grant for Sonic's cosmology, as the things that I will be granting are actually logically consistent to the scaling that is provided, and don't just spout out bullshit that doesn't logically follow at all within the series. Starting off with the Prime Zone, which is Sonic's home world, every single reality within Sonic branches off from this world, and the Prime Zone is directly stated to be infinite, with very, very, very added emphasis. It would be pretty hard to deny these statements and would require a lot of higher propositional justification in order to do so, as they are shown to be very, very, very blatant statements. But if you want to be a very ultra hyper skeptic, go ahead, but you're not going to look very fun at parties. On top of the already infinite universe within Sonic, there is also an infinite amount of universes that all vary from the Prime Zone. This would qualify for high multiversal scaling, as high multiversal demands on an infinite set of universes. The highest point within Sonic's cosmology, at least in regards to dimensionality, would be the Chaos Force. The Chaos Force is quite literally in its name. It is basically a plane of existence where the Chaos Emeralds derive their energy from. It is stated to be a place that exists outside of space-time, which would most likely put it in that fifth dimensional low complex multiversal category. Now, the cosmology for Archie Sonic should appear very simple given this set of information, but a lot of Sonic fans really want to try to overcomplicate it to feed their own agenda and force it down on people. So let's go over the things that I won't grant for Archie Sonic scaling. The first thing that I won't grant for Archie Sonic scaling is this supposed belief that the Chaos Force is not bounded by the concepts of space and time. This belief stems from this one statement of this random ass old echidna saying that the concept of time has no meaning to him. However, this statement could just be put into question as to why can't this just refer to his mental perspective on time, instead of the statement being some sort of reflection on the reality of the Chaos Force itself. Let me just apply a very similar analogy to what I'm talking about. Time has meaning to you when you're a finite being. You age. You would want to fulfill your life desires or life goals before your time runs out, hence time has meaning to you. But since now you are dead, time will not have any meaning to you, as
The Chaos Emeralds are infinite 5D. Stop believing.
time only has relevance within the material world. Because in the material world, you existed
Actually, I might debunk that lower.
as a mortal being with a finite amount of time to do things, but now you have an infinite amount of time to do things, so time would ultimately have no relevance since it never runs out. If you can understand this simple contextual analogy, you're smarter than 90% of these Archie Sonic power scalers. Because I said it once and I'll say it again, simply having the concept of time not being relevant to you could just be a personal perspective. Another thing that I won't grant for Archie Sonic power scaling is this thing called the no zone, which for some reason people claim is fifth dimensional when there is no substance to back this up.
No, they actually claim it's Brian cosmology due to how it looks. But that's just... How do I explain it? How do I explain this? It's not Brian cosmology. It's just a representation of what the fucking no zone is.
Go ahead and find me one scan of the no zone being 5D.
Oh shit! What the fuck happened? Oh,
Go ahead.
Sonic is bound by time. In his base form, yeah, he is. He's like multi-solar system plus in his space form. But I actually might debunk that lower. So.
Oh, you did it? Okay. Simply being a passageway to go to alternate realities is not a logical connection to the inference that this said thing is fifth dimensional. Like, that doesn't even logically follow. Sonic fans do not even do their own research on dimensionality, yet claim bullshit like things are fifth dimensional or at any dimensional axes they want to claim. They don't do the research. They don't know how dimensionality works. They don't know how time and space works. We got these Neanderthal troglodytes claiming that Archie, Sonic, Solos, Marvel,
That's
DC,
crazy.
and Goku, all of Dragon Ball combined, yet they don't know a single thing about dimensionality, time, or space. That is the people we're dealing with. You can't make a claim about a property or subject without you actually doing research on that subject, because you will look like an idiot. I thought that was common sense to everyone here. This could quite literally just be another fourth dimensional space-time that exists on a similar level to every other reality in the verse. It doesn't have to be
Right.
5D. Now, I want to point out an honorable mention before I get to the final portion of this video, and that is people trying to use Game Sonic or Game Sonic's entire cosmology or anything in regards to the games to try to scale Archie
Chaos forces state to be primordial, and primordial beings have a form of temporal relation. Yeah, I buy that. Okay.
Sonic when I'm sorry to tell you guys, but nothing in the entire Game Sonic franchise gets to fifth dimensional. Nothing does. Only Solaris does, which no one scales to Solaris, by the way. We can debate this, by the way. My Discord is on screen. No character, entity, or object in the Sonic franchise gets to 5D.
He has a friend.
Besides Solaris, which no one scales to. So if you want to try to use game stuff to scale Sonic, that's just not going to work, and I already covered it in this video right here. And now we're here at the final portions. Since I already covered the common arguments for Sonic not even being logically coherent, nor are the common interpretations of the cosmology, where does Sonic actually scale at the end of the day? I'll just go over his speed scaling to make things pretty easy. Now, unlike his game counterpart, Sonic does actually have very impressive speed feats for his Archie counterpart. He is shown to have blatant infinite speed feats by going outside of his universe just by running to communicate with other Sonics. He runs so fast that he manages to extend beyond his own infinite universe to travel to the cosmic interstate. These are not outliers, by the way. These are very consistent for his comic run. So I will say one advantage that Sonic does in fact have over his game counterpart is that he has way better arguments for being consistently faster. But what I'm not going to take is his immeasurable speed arguments. In my opinion, those arguments just come from a lot of hyperbolic statements, and I don't think we should be taking them very literally. I haven't really seen any strong substance for that. Now, to get into Archie Sonic's hacks, or basically his powers, they're pretty much identical to Game Sonic. There's not really much I need to cover here, but there is this one misinterpretation that people have been trying to use for versus battles, and it does not logically follow. It mainly stems from this idea of Archie Sonic having plot manipulation literally, and even if I granted that Archie Sonic does have plot manipulation, there is still a problem. The argument is that because X character has plot manipulation, they could just manipulate the plot to where they win. The problem is that this argument presupposes that power scaling is built on two or more entities fighting each other within their own independent story or narrative. But that's not how power scaling works. Power scaling does not work by you writing your own story. Power scaling is simply determining which character wins from logical deduction based on feats, statements, etc. And obviously, logical deduction does not depend on a somewhat fictional narrative or a fictional story. Logical deduction is simply bringing a conclusion from a set of premises. So no, plot manipulation does not even work in a cross-verse scenario because versus battles don't have a plot, so plot manipulation can't work. Now, before I get into this conclusion, I just want to mention a couple of more honorable mentions before I get to the conclusion for Archie Sonic's power scale. One more honorable mention is where Archie Sonic fans will try to say that because something is stated to be a higher plane of existence, it must be a referent for a dimensional transcendence.
That's not true at all. So,
when that doesn't always have to be the case, and you could quite literally just debunk this with a simple Google search by looking up what a higher plane of existence is. The definition of a higher plane of existence does not always demand a dimensional transcendence. So this just comes from another category error of goofy Archie Sonic tards. So in conclusion, Archie Sonic would scale from multiversal to possibly low complex multiversal with infinite speed. In other words, this guy gets one-tapped by any high-tier speedster in DC. He gets speed blitzed by Goku, pretty much any of the Z fighters. He would lose to pretty much any high-tier in Marvel. Any high-tier monster in Stephen King's books would one-shot the fuck out of Sonic, never reaching top 20 in fiction. He's straight up ass. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. See ya. Let me know if you guys need me another character to go fraud watch.
that was a pretty good video. That was a great video, actually. Now I can probably debunk Sonic to like like Supersonic to 4D. Let's fucking go. What else should I react to, guys? I think I might end it here. Maybe I'll end it. Probably not. I'm gonna see if people will debate me on the topic. Like, I'll give them like 10 minutes. Well, I guess I'm gonna just probably end it here. Well, that was a good stream, guys. Hope I'll see you guys again probably tomorrow. I'll see y'all in the next live stream. Bye bye.